Okay. So last class we studied mechanical systems, a translational system, rotational system, force voltage analogy, force current analogy. We solved different problems. Now next topic is electrical systems. As per the syllabus, we have only two systems, mechanical and electrical. So this is electrical system. In this electrical systems, we have a DC motors, DC motors, then synchro transmitter and receiver, tachometer, then servo motor. So these motors we study. We'll start with separately excited or armature control motor. Separately excited, self-excited, two types are there. So separately excited, or we call it as a armature control. So using armature current, we control the speed of the motor. That is the basic idea. So if you look at the equivalent circuit, A for armature, F for field. So field voltage is EF and field resistance RF, field inductance LF, field current IF, then armature voltage EA, armature current IA, armature resistance RA, armature inductance LA, is the motor back EMF, EB of T, E for EMF, B for back EMF. So this is the equivalent circuit. When it is separately excited, the field current is constant. So this current is constant. Now there are important rules or a laws. Air gap flux is proportional to field current. Air gap. See, these motors already you studied in electrical engineering, basic electrical engineering. So you know or you are aware of these, some of the basic statements. So I am just going through. Air gap flux is proportional to field current. Here when rotor and armature, between these two, some air gap is there. In that air gap, flux is flowing. That flux is proportional to field current. So phi of t is equal to kf if. But in this particular if is constant. So kf if is also constant. Second, torque developed by motor is proportional to air gap flux and armature current. So Tm of t is equal to Km. Then phi of t is the flux, armature current Ia of t. But what is phi of t is Kf If. If is constant to Kf constant to Km constant. So all of them replaced with Ki into Ia. This Ki is called as a torque constant, Newton meters per ampere. So finally, torque is controlled by an armature current Ia. So these two important laws. Then third one is when we write a loop equation, mesh equation. That is EA of t is equal to RA into IA plus LA DIA by dt plus EB of t. Simple KVL or a loop equation. So E of t expression is written. Then back EMF always depends on the speed of the motor. Back EMF depends on the speed of the motor. It's like a generator principle. So more speed, more back EMF. That is KB d theta m of t by dt. So this is the rate of, so we call it as a angular velocity, angular velocity. So KB omega m of t. Okay, so this is angular velocity. So back EMF depends on this KB omega m of t. And whatever torque is developed by the motor has to drive some load, some pulley, and when pulley is connected to the engine or a motor, that is supported with some shaft with a bearing mechanism. So that will give some friction. Bm d theta m by dt is the viscous friction, and it is rotating a inertia of Jm, m for motor. So Jm d square theta m by dt square. So this torque, whatever torque is developed, it has to run under no load condition. Under no load condition, these two things it has to run. If it is loaded, so TL, load torque. So once some load is applied on the pulley, that load is also added. So time being, no load condition only we are finding. So let us not concentrate on this. At the end, I will discuss about this. So these are the basic equations, very, very important. One is the flux proportional to field current, torque proportional to flux and armature current, then armature loop equation, back EMF depends on what, and whatever torque is developed, it has to drive a inertia of Jm, then viscous coefficient, friction coefficient is Bm d theta m by d. Now, what is the output of this system? Output is the angular displacement, theta m of t. And what is the input we are applying? EMF, EA. So, this is the input to the system, and output of the system is angular displacement. This ratio is called as a transfer function. This ratio is a transfer function. So, now let us apply Laplace transform on equation 3 and 4. 3 and 4. So 3 is this. So what is EA of S equal to RA IA of S plus LA, here derivative na S into IA of S plus KB of T. But what is KB of T? Is KB omega m of T na? So or KB d theta m of T by dt. So what is the Laplace of that? KB because of derivative S theta m of S. So after combining equation 3 and 4, after applying Laplace transform to 3 and 4, we are getting the sixth equation. Then apply Laplace transform to torque, this one, fifth one. So Tm of S is equal to, and Ki. What is the torque developed here? This torque is equal to Ki Ia na. So Tm of S is equal to Ki Ia of S. So Ki Ia of S is equal to then Laplace of this. That is Jm because of d square S square theta m of S plus Bms theta m of S. This is the seventh equation. Now sixth equation, simplify Ia of S common because we have to eliminate this one. We are trying to solve for theta m of S divided by Ea of S. So the sixth equation, Ea of S equal to Ia of S common. You get eighth equation and solve for the seventh one. The seventh one you get Ia of S is this. So this ninth you substitute in eighth. Ninth you substitute in eighth, then you will get Ea of S is so and so. Just to go through this, all steps are given. You can copy. Then transfer function is theta m of S by Ea of S is this. So S power 3, S square and S. So this is the third order system, and we got this transfer function. So in this electrical motor, separately excited motor, this equivalent circuit, write the time domain equation, apply Laplace transform, obtain the transfer function. Then from this we need to get the signal flow graph. Signal flow graph. So how do you get the signal flow graph is basically you look at this. Input is Ea of t. We start with input Ea of t. Then internally there is an armature current. Armature current is coming because of the applied voltage. So Ia will come. Whenever Ia is there, another variable dIa by dt also we should consider. Because of this armature current, then torque is developed. this torque, because of the torque only motor is rotating now. So d omega m by dt, then omega m at the end angular displacement. So theta m is the finally angular displacement. D theta m by dt is omega m. D omega m by dt is acceleration. This is acceleration. This is the speed, angular speed. This is the angular displacement. So these three we have to consider. These three because of torque. Torque because of armature current. Armature current because of EMF what we are applying to armature. Okay. So torque derivative is not possible. When IA is there, dIA by dt I am taking. When omega m is there, d omega m by dt I am writing. When Tm is there, dTm, torque that is not possible. So we don't take this. So finally, what are the variables we will show? EA of t we show DIA, IA, d omega m, theta m. So these are the variables. EA, then DIA by dt, then IA, then d omega m by dt, omega m, theta m. Okay. Now, so we have to manipulate the time domain equations to get this signal flow graph. So I have shown all these things, not just like that. You go through these equations. Equations 3 and 4. You look at 3 and 4. 3 and 4. Solve for dIA by dt. Solve for dIA by dt. This EB of t replace with KB d by dt theta m. So this EB replaced with this one, then solve for dIA by dt. So if you solve for dIA by dt, you are getting this equation. So therefore, dIA by dt is nothing but EA of t by LA. So 1 by LA into this is this. Then minus RA by LA. So minus RA by LA into IA. So this summer output, this mixer summing output is nothing but EA of t into 1 by LA, then IA into minus RA LA, the second term. Third term is minus KB by LA into omega m of t. So this is omega m. So from this signal is coming, from this signal is coming, from this signal is coming. That's what dIA by dt. So what is the relation between IA and dIA? Derivative only, na? So we'll get 1 by S. And omega m d omega m by again derivative, na? 1 by S. And theta m and omega m relation is again derivative, na? 1 by S. So here 1 by S, here 1 by S, here 1 by S. That is over. Next to d omega m by dt. So we are getting these things now. So how do you get that one? Equation 2 and 5. Equation 2 and 5 now derive d omega m by dt. So d omega m by dt is coming another equation. So that is ki by jm into ia. So ki by jm into ia is this. Then minus pm by jm into omega m. So this output to this output to adding, and we are getting this. So we can get the signal flow graph from the basic time domain equation. From the signal flow graph, we can also show the block diagram. This is a summing point. These are the forward gains, 1 by LA, 1 by S. These are all forward gains. These are all feedback gains. So we can also get the block diagram. But earlier what we studied, given our block diagram is already available, then that we converted into signal flow graph, we find out the transfer function. But whereas here reverse, based on the functionality of the electrical system, we have written time domain equations, apply Laplace transform, we got the transfer function that we are also showing like a signal flow graph. On this signal flow graph, using Mason's gain formula, if you find the transfer function, definitely you will get the same thing only. Okay. Or if you convert into block diagram, Using block diagram reduction, again find the transfer function. You will get the same transfer function. So this will give a wonderful idea what is the importance of control system. Later remaining units using this transfer function, we will do lot of analysis. There you understand why we are finding transfer function only. Mechanical system or electrical system, we are finding transfer function. And second unit, third unit, fourth unit, all other units, we do lot of wonderful work on the transfer function only. So that is the reason why we are converting everything into transfer function. So if in this, if additional term, if load torque, if TL is also added, so wherever I've written with red, so in the equation minus TL by Jm. So TL minus 1 by Jm will be added. So this output is nothing but this is also added. So just observe wherever written extra with red color. So this is what. So what kind of questions they will ask? Explain the separately excited DC motor, find the transfer function. Or explain the separately excited DC motor, show its signal flow graph and obtain the transfer function. So different style they ask the question. So that's how you can show it. So that's over. Next one is the field control. We can control the speed of the motor using armature current as well as field current. So when it comes to field current, so this here armature current, this I have shown right side. So armature current is constant. Now field current, RF, LF, IF, EF. So this field current we are changing. So as we discussed earlier, flux is equal to, flux depends on field current. Na? So KF, IF. So IF is changing, flux is changing. What is the second we discussed earlier? Torque depends on flux as well as armature current. So Km as it is, flux replaced with Kf IF, Ia replaced with Ia as it is. Now Ia is constant, armature current is constant, Kf constant, Km constant. All these constants with Kt prime, then If. So torque we are controlling with the field current. This is the function. Second one. Then whatever torque is developed, that has to drive inertia of J and friction Bm. Okay, this is similar to previous. Then fourth one, write the field equation. Ef equal to RFIF plus LF DIF by dt. So this loop equation. Then once again, what is the output of this system? Theta m as usual. What is the input? Is EF, field voltage. So this ratio will give a transfer function. So using Laplace transform, comfortably apply Laplace, you know how to do it. So theta m of s divided by EF of s, you will get this. So this is the transfer function. This transfer function is also modified in terms of 1 plus s tau form, 1 plus st or 1 plus str tau, so time constant, LF by RF. So once we convert this into this form, Km by S into 1 plus S tau F into 1 plus S tau M. One is the motor time constant, other one is field time constant. Network theory transient analysis, L by R. L by R is the time constant. Na? So field time constant, motor time constant. You can also stop here, not an issue, but this is expressed finally in this form also. Then coming to signal flow graph. Previously also we got a signal flow graph. Na? So again, as usual, focus on this. Field voltage is input, then field current. When IF is there, DIF by dt also will come. Then d omega m by dt, omega m theta m. This is the order. So show it here, EF, then DIF by dt, then IF, then d omega m by dt, omega m and theta m. Between theta m and omega m, 1 by s. Here also 1 by s. Here also 1 by s. So other things we have to find out. What is other things? So DIF by dt we have to solve. d omega m by dt we have to solve. So manipulate those equations, find out dif by dt and d omega m by dt. We get these two equations. So accordingly, you show this. So what is this one? EF by LF na? So here 1 by LF, then minus RF by LF. So minus RF by LF into IF is this. Accordingly, you mark them. So this is what signal flow graph for the above system. So like this, you can do the work. So two things we have done. One is armature control. Second one is field control. Is writing equations important? Then apply Laplace and solve. This order you remember and show the signal flow graph and manipulate those time equations and directly you can get. So nothing much to by heart. What you can by heart is this equivalent circuit and these equations. Rest of the things automatically, conceptually, logically, using common sense, you can obtain. Okay. So next another important motor is AC servo motor. AC servo motor. So this AC servo motor suitable for low frequency applications. General motor is heavy applications, but control system applications, that motor should be more stable. So suitable for low frequency applications, and AC servo motor is a rugged construction, lightweight, no brush contacts. And basically it is like a two-phase induction motor, similar to two-phase induction motor, and has some special design features. So what are those special design features? We'll discuss later. Next, voltage of equal RMS magnitude and 90 degrees phase differences are applied to two stator phases. So there is one rotor. We have these two stators, and phase difference between these two will be 90 degrees. Then only motor will rotate. Then only rotor will rotate. So I'm not discussing much details why it is rotating. All principles, motor principle, everything you already studied, and don't explain much in this control system subject also. These important highlights you write, show the equivalent circuit and these characteristics important. Torque versus speed. Torque versus speed. If you see this top one is for two-phase induction motor. Two-phase induction motor speed versus torque characteristics is like this. And whereas a servo motor torque versus speed is the straight line. Why we are not using two-phase induction motor? Because it is unstable. Why it is unstable? Generally, when speed is increasing, torque will be reduced. Normal conditions. Any motor, when you apply a load, speed decrease. When you apply a load, speed decrease. When speed is decreasing, torque should increase. When torque is increasing only, it will bear that load. But whereas in two-phase induction motor here, this portion, if you see, when speed is increasing, torque is also increasing. That is unstable system. This system is unstable because of large X by R ratio. That winding reactance, winding resistance, this ratio is large, therefore its characteristics becoming like this. It is unstable. So that's why we are not using two-phase induction motor for control system applications, because we are looking for a stable system. That is possible by reducing the X by R ratio. So what is the small changes in features is they design such a way that this X by R ratio is becoming small, then characteristics are like this. It will become stable. We are calling this as a AC servo motor. So two-phase induction motor, after changing these, it is converted into AC servo motor, which is more stable. That is the main difference between these two motors. So characteristics depends on X by R ratio. Difference between two-phase induction motor and AC servo motor. Same thing, whatever X by R ratio is small. Squirrel gauge. Squirrel gauge. That is squirrel gauge means when they are inserting that copper wire in the rotor slots, the shape of that is a squirrel cage. Small diameter to reduce the inertia. Then second one, direction of rotation of motor reverses as the polarity of control phase signal changes sign. So control phase, this is the control phase, actuating signal, AC signal. There is a reference phase. So reference phase is a constant. If you change this polarity, motor direction will change. That is the second point. Direction of rotation of motor reverses as the polarity of control phase signal changes sign. This is second. So these two are the differences between servo motor and induction motor. Next, coming to this torque. Torque is a function of whatever voltage we are applying and also angular velocity. Theta dot. Theta dot means d theta by dt. Okay. So this torque is a function of these two parameters. Okay. So theta is basically angular displacement. D theta by dt is the angular velocity. D square theta by dt is the angular acceleration. I am using theta dot and E. So it's a function of these two. Now Tm naught is the normal condition, normal no load condition, Tm naught plus. So using Taylor series, I don't know, something is called as mathematically. So dou Tm by dou E equal to E naught. It's a normal speed, normal reference condition. So theta dot is theta naught dot equal to E naught, then E minus E naught. E minus E naught. So E naught is a reference, so then that change. When E is changing, torque change. When this is changing, again torque also change. So torque because of theta dot. So dou Tm by dou theta dot, then E equal to E naught, theta dot equal to theta naught dot, then here theta dot minus theta naught dot. This is the change. So this is the like a transfer function into change will give. This is effectively what is the meaning of this total? What is the torque because of this change? What is the torque because of this change? So voltage is equal to E naught. This is 0, this is 0. It is Tm naught. When voltage is fixed, speed is also fixed. Whatever torque we are getting is at Tm 0. When E changing, torque change. So original torque plus this change is taken. Then if angular displacement, if load is changing, externally load is applied, then speed also changes. When speed is changing, torque also changes. So this is because of the load. This is because of the input voltage. This is under normal condition. So Tm minus Tm naught is equal to this transfer function is a K, E minus E naught minus B naught. So why it is minus B naught? Because speed versus torque is a negative slope na. That ratio is negative, so minus B naught. Theta dot minus theta 0 dot. And again this change is delta Tm, K delta E minus B0 delta theta dot. Now if load contain inertia of J, viscous friction B, then delta Tm, whatever torque is coming, has to drive this na. So J, this double dot means double derivative, single dot means single derivative, which is equal to this equation K delta E and so on. So then apply Laplace transform, take the ratio, you will get this. So change in speed versus change in angular displacement by change in. So whenever input is changing, how much angular displacement is changing. So this ratio is the transfer function. So you will get this form. So here this is the form, basically simplify this form. So Km is a motor gain constant to tau m is the motor time constant. So this is another AC servo motor. So what we are finding in this AC servo motor? So basically few features about suitable for low frequency applications, a brief key points about the servo motor, equivalent circuit, how induction motor is, or differences between induction motor and AC servo motor characteristics. So these differences, this equation is important. Then for rest of the things you can do it easily. You will get the transfer function. Next one is important, synchro pair. Pair is a two synchro motor, synchro pair. What are the important points in this? It is a electromagnetic transducer. Transducer commonly used to convert any angular position of shaft into electrical signal. This is the important principle. Commonly used to convert an angular position of the shaft. So there is internally in the motor there is a shaft, and shaft is rotating. The electrical signal whatever is coming is changed. So it's a transducer commonly used to convert angular position of shaft into electrical signal. In a big machine, this is used like error detector. I will explain importance of this motor later. So it is similar to three-phase alternator. Alternators, I hope you might have studied in basic electrical. If not, leave it. Similar to three-phase alternator. Stator contain laminated silicon steel and is slotted concentric coil type. This is the manufacturing details of the stator. Laminations, so small of like a sheets, laminated silicon steel and is slotted concentric coil type. Concentric coil type. So don't worry much about these things. So concentric coil type. Then 120 degrees apart, you'll understand below, 120 degrees separation between each coil. Rotor is a dumbbell. This is a dumbbell shape. Dumbbell wound with the concentric coil. Then AC is applied through slip rings. So this is what the basic structure, a transmitter. So we have a three coils, S1, S2, S3. S1, S2, S3. So internally rotor, and one coil to other coil separation is 120 degrees, 120 degrees, 120 degrees. Here we are applying AC supply VR of T. VR of T. This rotor is rotating. Depending on the rotation of this rotor, voltage across S1 and S2, S2 and S3, S1 and S3 will change. So what is its function? This physical position of the rotor converting into electrical signal. So what is VR of T? We are applying VR sine omega CT. This is the reference voltage we are applying. Voltage at S1 with respect to neutral, KVR sine omega CT cos theta plus 120. This is based on its function. These equations written. VR sine omega CT cos theta plus 120. Theta is this. This theta plus 120. So voltage at S1 is, what is the total angle? 120 plus theta. So cos theta plus 120. Vs2n, KVR sine omega CT is common, then cos theta. S2 only theta. Then Vs3n, KVR sine omega CT common, cos theta plus 240. This is 120, 120, 240, 240 plus theta, na? That is S3. So like that, these three equations written. Then voltage across S1 and S2. These three written with respect to neutral, Vs1n. N means neutral. Then this is like a phase voltage. This is like a phase voltage. Now difference is like a line voltage. Line voltage means voltage between two lines. Phase voltage is voltage in line with respect to neutral. So this difference we have to take. So when you take this difference, you simplify, you will get this answer. Root 3 KVR sine theta plus 240 sine omega ct. Here cos is there. When you take this difference, you are getting sine theta plus 240 between S2 S3 sine theta plus 120 S3 S1 sine theta. Sine omega ct common, root 3 kV are also common. Here sine theta plus 120 sine theta plus 240 across S1 S3 S2 S3 S1 S2. Okay. Now if theta equal to 0, voltage across S1 S3 equal to 0. This is called as a electrical zero of transmitter. If theta equal to 0, so this dumbbell shape is coming vertical exactly below S2, then voltage across S1 S3, voltage across S1 and S3. So this voltage is becoming 0. So whenever you are getting voltage between those 2 points 0, that position is called as a electrical zero position. Electrically voltage 0, but internally where is the rotor position? Like a vertical. So whenever this voltage is 0, rotor is not visible, it is internal. Now you can guess how the position of that particular rotor is. So that is what electrical zero. Next, synchro control transmitter. Synchro control transmitter. So your this together is called as a pair, and rotor is of cylindrical in shape. Air gap is uniform. So this one you look at. Air gap is uniform. Here air gap is not uniform. Synchro control transmitter is this. Here rotor is of cylindrical in shape. Air gap is uniform. This structure same. Here like a dumbbell shape already previously we discussed na, and whereas here control transmitter, this air gap is uniform. Here AC signal we are applying to rotor. Here from this rotor we are getting the signal. This is E of t. E of t is called as a error signal. So let us understand its functionality. This is a synchro transmitter. This is the synchro control transformer. Synchro control transformer. Synchro transmitter. Together is a pair. This pair is used for error detector. What is the application of synchro pair? Used for error detector. First one is synchro transmitter, synchro control transformer. What is the differences between these two? This shape already it is physically visible. Here rotor, this air gap is uniform. Why air gap should be uniform? We'll discuss later. Now, this error signal E of t is k prime VR cos phi sin omega ct. Cos phi here. What is this phi? This transmitter rotor rotation is indicated with theta, and synchro control transmitter rotor rotation is indicated with alpha, and phi is the angular displacement between two rotors. Angular displacement between two rotors. That is like a theta minus alpha. If phi is equal to 90 degrees, if this phi is 90 degrees, angular displacement between two rotors, that is phi. If phi equal to 90 degrees, cos 90 is 0. That is called as a electrical zero position. If phi is equal to 90 minus theta minus alpha. So when difference of 90 you are getting a 0 na. So that 90 we have to remove. So 90 minus theta minus alpha if I substitute, then E of t is becoming k prime VR sine, this cos 90 change it to sine theta minus alpha sine omega ct. If theta minus alpha is small, it is approximately theta minus alpha only. So this voltage is error voltage, it depends on theta minus alpha. If theta and alpha equal, voltage will be 0. So it works like a error detector. So this is also a rotor rotating with some speed. This rotor is also rotating with some other speed. The speed differences is theta minus alpha. If they are rotating, two rotors rotating with different speeds of theta and alpha, then this error voltage will be different accordingly. If difference is zero, error voltage will be zero. So if theta minus alpha is like this, some positive, negative. So theta minus alpha positive, theta is more than alpha. Theta minus alpha negative means alpha is more than theta. So because they are rotating at different speeds now. So accordingly, this is the input carrier signal we are applying. The error signal what we get looks like this. It looks like this. So if theta minus alpha is zero, output is zero. Okay. So this is called as here positive. I did not draw perfectly. So this positive portion, it will go to peak, again come to zero. This stores zero, again peak, again zero, na, this duration. Yeah. Next second off cycle is this second. So it is like you see the positive peak. We call this as a suppressed carrier modulation. The carrier signal strength is suppressed. Suppressed means varying the amplitude of the signal. This is the carrier signal, whatever we are applying. That amplitude is decreasing, increasing depending on the theta minus alpha variation. Theta minus alpha variation. So that is called as a suppressed carrier modulation. Now, two important points. Change in rotor output impedance with the rotation of shaft must be minimized. See, this output is given to some other system. That system will have some impedance, and this impedance also should be same. If air gap is uniform, irrespective of the rotor position, impedance will be same. When that is driving some other system, that will have some impedance. So impedance matching will takes place. For that reason, uniform gap is maintained. So change in rotor output impedance with the rotation of shaft must be minimized. Then stator winding of control transmitter has higher impedance per phase. It has a higher impedance per phase. This permits several control transmitter to be fed from a single transmitter. So if impedance per phase is more, this is given to this. So we have a several such control transformers, and this output is given to many such control transformers. So that is the advantage of having higher impedance per phase. So these are the two features they maintain. And what is the use of synchro pair? It is like a error detector. See, a big mechanical system. So what is how this is used is this position not visible, this position also not visible. Just by detecting the error signal, where is the relatively, where are these position, rotor positions, where this control transmitter rotor position, where this position, what is the difference? Accordingly, by with the help of error signal, we are guessing their positions which are not visible. That is the advantage of this. So it is used like a error detector. Then one last one is the tachometer. After tachometer, we finish the electrical systems. So what is the tachometer? Basically, it is used to measure the speed of motor. It converts mechanical energy into electrical signal. When rotor is rotating at higher speed, with the help of tachometer, we measure the speed of motor. And what is the tachometer principle is mechanical energy converted to electrical signal. Works like a generator. So electrical signal is based on d theta by, so theta is the angular displacement. So accordingly electrical signal based on the principle. So that is kt omega of t. Kt is the tachometer constant. And apply the Laplace transform, take the ratio. So output is theta of s, input is et of s, kt into s. This is the simple transfer function. So its working principle, electrical equation, transfer function. This is about tachometer. So tachometer we studied, then synchro pair we studied, then AC servo motor, then field control, armature control. So these are the things as per the syllabus. With this, electrical systems over, mechanical systems over, first unit is over. So first unit of linear control system is over. So we don't get any problems. They don't ask any problems in this. Whatever I told you, you just prepare. It is more than sufficient. So with this, I stop.